Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Our galaxy. Humankind colonized space so long ago. The centuries-old conflict has led to endless wars and broken planets. My only way out was to join Grotto's army, the Reapers, the Resource Exploration and Procurement Engineer Regiment, also known as the Salvage Marines.
Hey guys, what's up? We're here at San Diego Comic-Con 2022 for Salvage Marines.
Yes. This is the job.
So, we know who you are. Everybody knows who you are.
Yes.
You introduce yourself too?
Yes, I am Jennifer Winger. I play Jada Sek. I am a comic book nerd of a long time, so it's a thrill to be on something with Johnny Rico.
We're gonna ask the standard question just for fun. DC or Marvel? Or something else entirely?
DC.
Nice.
She's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I was one of the reference
Wonder
models
Woman.
for years.
She's, literally.
Wow.
This is the day I met her 7 years ago at Comic-Con.
Wow.
And
That's
then I
awesome.
said, yes, I do. And she's like, what? And I go, oh, I want to marry you.
Yeah,
That's how you introduce yourself, of course.
I was one of the furrowed brows of DC Comics for years.
Awesome.
So if you saw that in like 2006 to 2012, it was me.
And as I said, we're here for Salvage Marines. Can you give us a brief overview of the brand new show?
Yes, go.
The only way that I can put it is in the future where there's this society, it's kind of like a dystopian society. You're born with the debt of your ancestors. So as it's been rolling down your grandfather, your great-grandfather to your dad.
Thanks a lot, Dad.
Exactly, yeah. So you require your family's debt, and the only way that really you can change your station in life is to basically sacrifice yourself to the Salvage Marines. It's an 80% mortality rate, and you sign up and quickly, through those jobs, pay off your family's debt.
Unless you get wounded, which is a 98% for the survivor for the 20%, and then you get more debt. So it's perpetuating all the time. So for me, it was a fascinating story because it is like, student debts and home loans, and everything that everybody goes through.
Just feeling stuck.
It's a relatable thing, and it's also showing how the corporations are behind all of it, putting money on both sides against.
And be very careful not to do a spoiler.
Yes, I did that.
Generational debt.
Yes.
Yes, generational
man.
debt.
And it is a look at that, and also how in the future, Peter Shinkota, his co-star, my co-star, but he was talking to us about how the thing he loves so much about it is we're all after the same common denominator. We're all just trying to survive. The person to your right or to your left, you all have that in common, and you go forward. We don't talk about race or sexism. Ageism's touched on just a little.
But that's the funny thing, because we're old. Peter and I are old.
Well, if it's generational debt, you're going to have to touch age at some point.
Yeah, we do,
Yeah.
because the reason why I signed up is my father's debt was handed down to me. But Peter loved it, like Jenny was saying, he loved this because he's Japanese, and the character is Japanese, but that's all, his name is Takeda, but it's never mentioned, and he goes, this is a role for me. Usually they want me to play a stereotypical Asian or whatever it is. He goes, but this one, there was nothing. He goes, so I feel so honored and seen. And I was like,
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
it is beautiful.
It's really a buddy story. It's him and Peter's character Tack. They just have been friends since they were kids, and they've been in the sludge together. So when one of them says, I'm going to try for this, the other one joins him. It's a really fun adventure.
That's awesome. So we're salvaging. You're Salvage Marines.
Yes.
What are we salvaging from? Are we talking war, aliens, and hopefully not huge spoilers?
Yes, to all of this. Now, what we're also doing is we're salvaging like wrecks or old ships or old spaceships that have been out there, and also humans. We salvage for
technicalities.
yeah. So we're like, oh well, we need them because they're I forget what they were.
So we're talking slavery too.
Yes,
Well, that's
yeah.
indentured servitude is what we're all in anyhow.
Yeah.
So it's without saying that we're
Degrees of
Yeah.
slavery.
Yes.
Ooh.
It's really intense. And the thing was, for me, what's so exciting about this was
I love your enthusiasm.
Well, this is it's fun when you get something you love.
It's
and you have your
important when you're
friends.
that much enthusiastic about your passionate project.
Yeah, well, this for me was we had all our friends in it. It didn't matter about the race or anything like that, or didn't all of this, but we have multiple levels of going through stages, and so we're not like he's the one note character over there. Everybody, like you're like going, wait a minute, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go for her when your wife is there. Oh my God, don't do that. So they have things going. They had so many things going that it was intense, and I loved it. I just had so much fun because I'm a fan of Star Trek and the original, Doctor Who and Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon. So this is like a kickback to all the original ones. It's like where the little engines they could that, we're not some big studio that is like putting all the money in the world and all the special effects. But this is really character and story driven. And for me, that was the best.
Plot is vital.
Yes. And not always the case anymore.
That's
Sometimes
sadly
it's
true.
more like, they'll put in all these visual effects of spaceships and all this other stuff, and that's the main thing they're doing, like you're doing, and I get bored now because I've seen it, and so but when I have a story, if it's in sci-fi and it's story, I'm all in because it's my favorite genre.
And we got to do it with our best friends. We're all like really, really close friends, and it's like because he had a producer credit, I was like, well, we can start kind of asking for things, because you get there and they do local hire, and it's always a gamble. Because people are nervous around someone like him, you know what I mean? So when you bring in just all of his friends and they're the fellow actors on set, we're all just like one-upping each other and having a great time.
Yeah, everybody had our back. It was awesome to do that because we knew we had a tight schedule and we had a really small budget and we had a really difficult environment to shoot in, and the equipment was hard to shoot in, and the weather was so hot and so unbearable and all this, and you could only
Where
breathe.
did you end up shooting?
In Louisiana for most of it, and then also in England.
In the swamps, girl.
Lord have mercy.
Just outside of
In the
Baton
swamps.
Rouge.
Ooh, it was
was
intense.
muggy.
And we're black, and we're in the sun, and it's beating down on us in the black helmets with the helmets that didn't breathe.
We had to breathe
Reminded
like
me
this.
just like Starship Troopers when I
Yeah.
was in Hell's Half Acre over there. So it was very similar to that. Only now I was old.
Needed more breaks.
Yeah.
Can you give us one no crap there I was story off of the set?
Oh, crap, there I was.
No crap there I was. I'm not
okay.
supposed to use the standard word.
Nope.
Do you have a thing you're thinking of?
Or hijinks.
So
Hijinks on the set.
here's the only shot, and everybody will be able to see it. And I just had to trust Sean. I said, Sean, really? I get an injury of some kind. And I'm laying there and I can't move because of the kind of injury it is. And Sean puts the camera, and the shot's all about the wound and making the wound sell. But it's like this of me. And I'm like, Sean, are you really gonna make me do this? Like, as an actress, do a line like this. It's in my leg, like. And that was like one moment where I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
I didn't think I was going to end up doing this.
Yes, because Jada is such a badass. Like, she's hanging in there with all the dudes, and then she has this really crappy, vulnerable moment, and I was just like, I don't feel like doing this as her, but it ended up working, and I trusted him, and the wound looked really good in that shot. It was a practical effect.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just that we have our little friend Ashley Nunez in this, and she's a runner. So when we had to do all the running, she just was first, and all of us guys were like, oh God. And so we're like trying to keep up with her. And I mean, having a woman now at Shiny, 'cause she's a track star, you're like, and I run. I'm a runner. Okay, so I'm a runner, but this girl is a real runner.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference. So I couldn't keep up with her if I trained for 10 years. So
More power to you.
I'm like, yeah. So, but she was like little Ashley, and her dad was there one time because he came to be a Reaper for one day. He was in the uniform, and we're running through when we're going through the trenches. And they didn't have enough stunt guys, so we're all doing our own stunts.
Ooh.
We're running up and then jumping down and sliding and all
Into
this
a
other stuff.
foxhole.
And we went to Fred. He goes, you don't need to run. He goes, well, I had to. I saw Ashley go, and I wasn't going to stop. So Ashley motivated all of us in a way to just run. I mean, it was really awesome. And all the young guys were trying to keep up with her too, and they were really struggling, and they're athletes.
Shane is the only one that came close, and he's like a champion martial artist.
Yeah, he's a champion martial, and he's young. So
Yeah.
But he was like, I can't believe that she just destroyed me.
Yeah.
So the women more powerful than the men. I like that.
Just because we have
Awesome.
Ashley on our team.
Well, actually, all of you did
Yeah.
great, amazing things. They were all really, it was just so much fun to be around all this. It was infectious because we got in there and we all really loved each other. And
And our director is a child,
Yes.
like in the
Yeah.
best way. Sean Piccinino, he's the biggest Star Wars fan. He and I actually,
He's
one
such
of
a
our
nerd.
first shoots together was on a Star Wars fan film. And he was just like, I get to create a world. Like, this is my chance. As a kid, you like think of what you would do with Star Wars as a filmmaker. And then he got to grow up and live that dream.
Yeah,
so
he's
he was
awesome.
so happy every day.
he's one of our best friends.
That's super cool. Well, thanks you guys for being here with us
Thank
for
you.
Salvage Marines. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Yeah, it's out on Popcorn Flicks
The
on July
28th.
28th for free. So you can watch this for free. I don't know how they make the money, but it's for free.
Badass.
And it's really good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Son to know a better world than this.
And I want our son to know his father.
Do you even realize what's out there, Sam?
Axial speed. Mercenaries.
Pirates. Monsters.
We're losing Reapers too fast.
Most people never come back.